Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome to another gaming pickups video. I have a bit of a stack of games here. I bought a little bit more than I really intended to this month, so let's just get on with it, shall we? First up is The Evil Within. Yes, finally picked this up. I'd heard good things about The Evil Within too, but me being me, I kind of want to try to start from the beginning, rather than just jump straight into the sequel, so I went ahead and finally picked this up. Got it for Xbox One because my Xbox library kind of needs a bit of a boost right now. And again, I haven't really gotten too far into this one yet, but it does look interesting. I believe it's from one of the same people who worked on the early Resident Evil titles. So definitely looking forward to getting more into this. Interesting thing though is much like The Order 1886 on the PS4, this game is presented by default in a letterbox widescreen. So it's a really nice wide aspect ratio, but you can actually turn that off in the options menu, which is kind of interesting. Still, when I play through this, I do plan on playing through it with a letterbox because that's kind of the intended experience. The only thing that kind of sucks about it is it kind of cuts off your field of view. It narrows it basically, so it's kind of weird about that. Anyways, again, increasing my Xbox library, I got Sleeping Dogs. This is the definitive edition. I previously picked this up on the Xbox 360, but never really got into it. And I've been kind of wanting to recently. This game started off development as True Crime Streets of Hong Kong, before they ended up not being able to publish it as that. They lost their original publisher, I think, and ended up going under the working title Sleeping Dogs until eventually it was published that way. And this is the definitive edition, so it includes like all the DLC that was released at the original launch and everything. There's like two major DLC packs, big open world style game. Definitely looking forward to giving this more of a shot. I barely started it. It's going to be kind of a running theme for a lot of these games, including the next one. My Wii U library has been pretty anemic lately as well, and with the release of the Switch being a year past now, Wii U games are actually starting to get pretty reasonably priced. So I went ahead and picked up Xenoblade Chronicles X. I haven't played Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I don't know how well, if at all, this actually ties into it. I don't think there's like any direct ties or anything like that. Maybe just illusions and so on. So I've been kind of interested in this. I actually just started to give this a shot, but it has a really, really slow open, even for a JRPG, with a lot of like heavy exposition and info dumps and so on. So I don't know how well I'm gonna actually end up liking this, but either way. Moving on to a much better Wii U game, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Yes, I know this recently got a port on the Switch, but this was much cheaper. You know, it's on the disc and so on, so it's much cheaper. Uh, Excellent game. Really, really good game. I really enjoyed Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii, and this is pretty much of the same, just kind of with a Frozen type theme, a winter type theme. So it's still a really good game. What's not such a good game, though, is the next Wii U title I got, Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. This is the Wii U version, of course, and I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. The writing is at least moderately funny, at least for like kids' TV show level, and there's actually a tie-in TV show for this that I've heard is pretty good, but I haven't actually watched it or anything. But the game itself is just not good. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually beat this myself, or I'm just going to watch somebody else Let's Play it or something. But still, it's good to add to my collection. You know, that's all of the recent Sonic games that I now have, so it's still good to add. What is a much better game, though, is Knack 2 for PS4. Yes, I've had Knack for years. I got it when I got my PS4 back at the launch in 2013, but I never really gave it a shot until recently. You know, it was a launch title, it was a new IP, so not a lot of people really gave it that much thought, but it was actually a really solid game, really solid third-person action game and so on, and Knack 2 takes everything that Knack 1 was and just ups it. It's so much better than Knack 1 was. And this game also does couch co-op as well. You can actually control like a second Knack as well. So still a really fun game. I ended up playing through it on hard difficulty. There was another tier of difficulty higher than that, but hard was good enough for me. So still really good to pick up. Another sequel I picked up was Gravity Rush 2. I really enjoyed the first Gravity Rush. I played Gravity Rush Remastered on the PS4, enjoyed it, but it left off on kind of a cliffhanger, and I haven't really gotten into this one yet. I'm kind of waiting to get around to it. but I am hoping that they resolve some things in here. And there's also a free DLC mission pack that's kind of like a second side story, which follows a secondary character called Raven, who's on the box right here. But other than that, I finally picked up Bravely Default on the 3DS. I've been looking at this game for a long time. It's basically a Final Fantasy game in all but name. I mean, you've got 4 elemental crystals, you have similar magic name, spell names, similar item names, you've got Warriors of Light. It's Final Fantasy, it's just missing chocobos and the character named Sid. And for all I know, there could be a character named Sid in here, I just don't know. Yeah, but it's really interesting. One of these days I'll have to pick up the second one as well, but I kind of want to finish this before I do. It's just finally glad to actually add it to my collection, though. Nice classic turn-based strategy game as well. Really interesting combat system as well. A lot of turn-based JRPGs give you the option to put your characters in kind of a defensive mode so they don't take as much hits. Well, in this game, that's called defaulting. And what it does is it allows you to skip a turn and store up that action to be used on a second turn by using what is called Brave points, where you select the Brave option and it queues up more attacks for that turn. And it's really interesting because, for once, there's actually a reason to go into defense. You know, a lot of JRPGs that include options to defend, I don't really do it because it's usually better to actually use that turn to cast a spell or use an item if you're not going to straight up attack. But still, really, really good to have. Anyways, the last game I have to talk about was really the only new release I got in June. There was really only one that was on my radar, and because I really love vampires and vampire books and vampire games, although I haven't played too many vampire games. So I ended up picking up Vampyr, which is from Don't Nod, the same people that did Life is Strange as well as Remember Me. And it takes place in 1918, I think, in London. So it's like just after World War I. As a matter of fact, your main character, Jonathan here, was a World War I surgeon. And the game opens up with he's become a vampire, and his first kill is his own sister, which is really interesting. I haven't gotten too much into the story yet, but it does have some interesting features where this is kind of an RPG, and the better you know certain characters, the more experience points they're worth. So if you feed on them, you kill them and so on, you can get higher experience points that way. Whereas if you kind of abstain from feeding on like the story characters, so you're just feeding on like the random enemies that you're fighting, your experience gains are much slower, so the game becomes more difficult that way. It's really kind of interesting, so I can't wait to see more of what's going on in here. Anyways, that is it for this Gaming Pickups video. I know it's not very long. I've had much longer pickup videos in the past, but I haven't had too much time to sit down and play a lot of these games really in depth. The only one I actually beat was Knack 2, and the others I've put maybe half an hour to an hour in each, so it's just the best I can do right now. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.